Hey y'all, I wanted to make a quick video on why you won't see me throw chatterbaits in today's society. In fact, I stopped throwing them in 2010. Well, why? They're the latest and greatest thing. Everybody's throwing the Z-Man chatterbait. Sure, it's killer. But I just told you why. Everybody's throwing it. In fact, one of my last chatterbaits I ever bought was in 2007, I think, and it was this Booyah Boogie bait. In fact, the skirt's so far off and it's so old it fell off, but it had this wire guard to help with when the fish gets hooked, it can go like that without throwing the hook. It was patented. The Booyah Boogie bait. One of the last ones I threw, one of the first I threw. Back when Z-Man only had one, Z-Man only had one chatterbait. I think it was the original. But what do I do instead? Well, everybody back then threw spinnerbaits. I picked up a chatterbait and wailed on them. Wailed on them. Other boats weren't catching them. I wailed on them. Everybody's doing that now. So what do I do? Well, I picked up a swim jig. Why? Why swim jig? Well, everybody's throwing spinnerbaits and chatterbaits now. Swim jig's kind of gone away. Well, what kind of trailer is this? This is your Bruiser Baits Crazy Craw. Right? When I'm swimming it above them, I want on this Okeechobee craw color, I want the flash down. When I'm fishing on the bottom, I want the flash up. Just a little tip. But this is not a swimming head. Well, why is that? Well, personal belief. Swimming jigs are great. Flipping jigs are great. You can pick up either one and do it. Because this thing right here, this thing called a weed guard, acts as a sail in the water. Just like a spinnerbait arm acts as a sail. That is your stabilizer. And it goes to the water. And it swims upright, believe it or not. Even though the head's up like that, it swims right. This is a battle-based brush bomb. Right there. Wailed on them this weekend. And then, if everybody's throwing chatterbaits, I'll pick up a spinnerbait. Everybody's favorite, lava craw. Right there, red one. This is a fluted blade design. It's Rocky Ledge Tackle. New Hampshire company. Nobody out west is throwing it. I picked them up and said, you know what? I'm going to bring them out and try to fool a giant this year. I really shouldn't be saying crap, but I am. Trying to help people. But everybody nobody threw chatterbaits in 2005, 2010. I threw them. Wailed on them. Everybody started picking up spinnerbaits again. Wailed on them. I went to something else, right? Everybody's throwing these now. Now I'm throwing swim jigs. Why? Because if a fish sees this 100 times and someone puts some kind of action on it that the fish doesn't like, that fish is like, I ain't eating that. Here comes a swim jig. They destroy it. Being different matters, but the point I was trying to make, chatterbaits are great, but everybody's throwing jackhammer now. And everybody's got to throw the Zocco. Amazing trailer. Nothing wrong with it. The point of this is be different. You want to fool giants like that? State records, 8-pounders, 8.3, northern strain, giant northern strain that are equivalent to like 14, 15-pound southern strains and Florida strain stuff, then you got to be different. Those are about as big as you're going to get in Oregon. Well, the state record is, but state record largemouth in Oregon is 12 pounds. That's pushing its life expectancy on northern strain fish. So that's probably not going to be broken. But swim jigs, when everybody's throwing chatterbaits and spinnerbaits. When everybody's doing something else, you do something else. You're going to fool those fish that they no longer want to eat that, right? So that's kind of my point, why I don't throw chatterbaits anymore. Because every single person out there has one on their rod. It doesn't matter who it is. They're throwing one. They have 75 of them in their box. Well, believe it or not, I own 0 chatterbaits now besides the ones that have fallen apart. I can throw a skirt on there and be fine, but I own 0 chatterbaits. Ton of spinnerbaits, and the other day I bought 30 flipping jigs, brush bombs. Why 30 brush bombs? Well, I'm smart enough to know that you don't have to have a swim jig to swim it, right? Swim jig and flipping jig, and I do everything with this. So that's my point here. Be different. Bruiser Baits. Let me grab the pack for you just to show you what it's like. My go-to. Right there, Bruiser Baits. This is the Okeechobee craw. That's the pack, Bruiser Baits. This is actually stuffed full of multiple packs, by the way. I think 7 come in a pack for $4.49. Killer deal. That has like 8 packs stuffed in there. Oh, I only carry one. It condensed my gear. But, yeah. Swim jigs. Throw Bruiser Baits on there. When you're swimming it above them, put the Okeechobee craw flash down so they see the flash. Everybody's throwing swim jigs and chatterbaits, throw a spinnerbait. Vice versa, and mix it all up. Because The person that throws something different is going to get hammered. The people that throw the same thing as everybody else, those fish are going to ignore that every single time until swim jig comes along or something else comes along and they eat it. The swim jig is, think of a fish profile with the trailer. Think of a swim bait, but with secondary action because of the skirt. That's a swim jig. Spinner bait. Add the blades. You have first action, secondary action, and you can add a swim bait on that and have third action. All great options, all work, but the key takeaway here is throw something different than everybody else. If you go to the dock and you see 6, 7 boats with all chatterbaits on, no spinnerbaits, you better throw chatterbait or spinner jig on there. Oh my God, spinner bait on there. If they all have swim jigs, that was my next thought, so I said spinner jig. But if they all have swim jigs and all have chatterbaits, and nobody has a spinnerbait, pick the spinnerbait up. If they all have spinnerbaits and chatterbaits, pick up a swim jig. Just taking the blades away and the flash away can make a huge difference. Water temperature, sure, whatever, but just being different can trigger that strike. So, heck, I was going to say heck, but hell. Me and my dad were both throwing exact same thing this weekend. Well, he threw him by there, I threw him by, we're throwing the same thing right next to each other. I caught a few more than him. Why? Well, I tended to start twitching my thing, so the tail started wiggling, and the jig started doing this. We started hammering it, whereas he wasn't getting the bites. He'll cast out there, I'll cast the same spot, and then I'll get bit, and he won it. Being different is the key here. Takeaway from this is just throw something different. Everybody's throwing chatterbaits today, so throw a swim jig and spinnerbait. Everybody starts throwing chatterbaits and spinnerbaits, throw a swim jig. I know I'm repeating myself, but that's the key here. Be different and fool those giants. Have a good day.